If you grew up in the 80s, chances are you know who Freddy Krueger is. Played masterfully by Robert Englund, he gave a whole generation a new reason to look under the bed. Freddy Krueger's first appearance was in the 1984 film A Nightmare on Elm Street.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
You could just see cuts happening.
What did that, Lieutenant?
I don't know.
What the coroner got to say? He's in the jar and puking since he saw it.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy?
The story focused on Krueger attacking Nancy Thompson and her friends in their dreams, successfully killing all but Nancy. Krueger's backstory is revealed by Nancy's mother, who explains he was a child murderer whom the parents of Springwood killed after Krueger was acquitted of charges on a technicality. Nancy defeats Krueger by pulling him from the dream world into the real world and setting up a series of booby traps, finally stripping him of his powers when she stops being afraid of him. Freddy returned in the sequel, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge, terrorizing the Walsh family who had moved into Nancy's old home. Krueger possesses the body of Jesse Walsh, using his body to kill, but Jesse is saved by his girlfriend Lisa, who helps Jesse fight Krueger's spirit. Wes Craven returned to give Krueger life for a third time in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. In the second sequel, Krueger is systematically killing the last of the Elm Street children. The few remaining children have been placed in the Weston Hills Psychiatric Hospital for reasons of attempted suicide. Nancy Thompson arrives at Weston Hills as a new intern and realizes the children are being killed by Krueger. With the help of Dr. Neil Gordon, Nancy helps Kristen, Joey, Taryn, Kincaid, and Will find their dream powers so they can kill Krueger once and for all. Neil, unknowingly until the end, meets the spirit of Krueger's mother, Amanda Krueger, who instructs him to bury Krueger's remains in hollow ground in order to stop him for good. Neil completes his task, but not before Freddy kills Nancy. The character's fourth appearance in film came with A Nightmare on Elm Street 4: The Dream Master. This time, Kristen unwittingly releases Krueger, who immediately kills Kincaid and Joey. Before Kristen is killed, she transfers her dream powers to pull others into her dreams to her friend Alice, who begins inadvertently providing victims for Krueger. Alice, who has taken on the traits of the friends who were murdered, confronts Krueger and uses the power of the Dream Master to release all of the souls Krueger has taken. They subsequently rip themselves from Krueger's body, killing him in the process. Picking up shortly after the events of the Dream Master, Nightmare on Elm Street 5: The Dream Child involves Krueger using Alice's unborn child Jacob to resurrect himself and find new victims. The spirit of Amanda Krueger returns, revealing that Krueger was conceived when she, a nun working in a mental asylum, was accidentally locked in a room and raped hundreds of times. Amanda Krueger convinces Jacob to use the powers he was given by Krueger against him, which gives her the chance to subdue Krueger long enough for Alice and Jacob to escape the dream world. Released in theaters in 3D in 1991, we got Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. The film reveals that Krueger has a daughter, Maggie, and needs her to create new Elm Streets all over the world to begin his killing spree again. Maggie, utilizing new dream techniques, uncovers Krueger's past, including child abuse, cruelty to animals, murdering his own wife, the moment the dream demons offer him eternal life, and eventually pulls Krueger out of the dream world into the real. She uses a pipe bomb embedded in his chest to blow him up. Wes Craven's New Nightmare focuses on a fictional reality where Craven, Langenkamp, and Englund all play themselves, and where the character of Freddy Krueger is an evil entity that has been trapped in the realm of fiction by all the Nightmare films. When the films are stopped, the entity, which enjoys the form of Freddy Krueger, tries to escape into the real world. The only person in its way is Heather Langenkamp, whom the entity sees as Nancy, the first person who defeated him. Langenkamp pursues Freddy, who has kidnapped her son, into the dream world as Nancy. There, she and her son trap Freddy in a furnace until he is finally destroyed. The last appearance of Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger would be in Freddy vs. Jason 2003, in which Freddy battles Friday the 13th villain Jason Voorhees. In the film, Krueger has grown weak as people in Springwood have suppressed their fear of him. Impersonating Pamela Voorhees, the mother of Jason Voorhees, Krueger resurrects Jason and sends him to Springwood to cause panic and fear. Jason accomplishes this but refuses to stop killing. A battle ensues in both the Dream World and Crystal Lake. The winner is left ambiguous as Jason surfaces from the lake holding Krueger's severed head, which winks and laughs. Aside from the movies, Freddy Krueger also had his own television series entitled Freddy's Nightmares. Beginning on October 9, 1988, Freddy's Nightmares was an anthology series in the vein of The Twilight Zone, which featured different horror stories each week. The show was hosted by Freddy Krueger, who did not take direct part in most of the episodes, but he did show up occasionally to influence the plot of particular episodes. The series ran for 2 seasons, a total of 44 episodes, ending March 10, 1990.
There are worlds inside our minds, worlds of peace and beauty. But when our minds wander too far, we lose control and enter the dark, deadly world of Freddy Krueger, where nightmares come alive. Experience this world every week on Freddy's new television series, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the series, Freddy's Nightmares. Don't let him catch you sleeping.
Freddy Krueger has become one of the most merchandised slasher icons of all time, getting Nintendo games, Halloween costumes including replicas of his glove, action figures, dolls with his likeness and voice, comic books, and even Nike was going to make a pair of Freddy Krueger shoes, but they went unproduced. The character of Freddy Krueger is still alive and well, but with Robert Englund no longer playing him. The new Nightmare on Elm Street movie from Platinum Dunes comes out next month, with Jackie Earle Haley taking over the role. The sequel has already been greenlit, even though the first one hasn't come out in the theaters. A lot of fans have voiced a lot of backlash over the change in character, the change in look, and the change in the voice, but I guess we'll just have to see how he does.